Hello, hello, you guys. Welcome to POV You're a Girl. I'm your host, Diane Kanoy, and today I am here with, again, my really cool mom and one of my friends that I've known a long time, Ricky.
Yay, Ricky.
You guys for having me.
I'm a business and sales consultant.
And I am a business consultant and coach
And
and
all the
entrepreneur and mom and all the things.
Oh, that's
Instructor
the
for the college. And you? And
Aloha, I'm Ricky Guillermo Santos Jr. I am the owner of Zion King Media and also creator for change, and as well as just working with a lot of communities here in Hawaii.
I know this guy a long time. I think we knew each other back in middle school. So
Yeah.
we were like, what, 12?
holy crap.
I know.
We were just
We were
super young, yeah.
You-
babies. We were like 12.
And then I met you when you were in the ninth grade. He was the first boy you brought home.
First, it's very funny.
You were the first
First
boy
boy
that
I
she
brought home, and I was like, I'm gonna introduce you to one of my guy friends, and they were like, all right, I guess so. Weird, all right.
Talk about that experience on your end. What was that perception of us as a family, and then what was that experience like?
Honestly, I mean, just the energy that Sayan always brings, like, it's always good energy. So when I had to meet your parents and everything like that, I expected the exact same. It was
Makes sense.
a great experience,
The
honestly.
apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
Same
Yeah.
orchard.
Same orchard.
But I think I would love to hear your experience with Uncle. You met Uncle.
Mm.
Like,
Oh.
we're being so real on this.
We're being real.
So real. You can be as...
Be so
Honestly, if I was a father, I mean, I would have the exact same reaction. I mean,
So what is...
especially if you had a daughter, right? You'd be protective, right?
So what did he do to you?
Well,
Just
could we get deep in that?
do
Yeah,
it. Just do it. What did he do?
Alright.
All right, so wait. To preface, when I told them, hey, I'm gonna bring one of my guy friends over, and they're like, all right. My dad was like, all right, I ready for him. And I'm like, all right, cool. Ricky comes up to the house. We have a gate in front of our front door, right? So he walks into the gate. I'm like, Dad, my friend Ricky is here. And we're in the front yard. The dogs are saying hi to you. And then my mom comes out and says, oh, hi, and blah, 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 blah. And the next thing you know,
But let's just say I open the door, and there's just two AKs right in the front, and I mean, I know, like, when I meet people, I'm always cool, so I didn't really have I wasn't really afraid or anything like that, but
you're just like,
but like, I would totally understand if I had a daughter. That would be the exact same thing, because obviously, if your daughter brings a guy home, it's just like you gotta have that you gotta set the tone, right? Like,
Oh, yeah,
hey,
that was
don't hurt our daughter, don't be some jerk, right?
I
So
mean, that was definitely...
He set the tone.
He
you definitely set the tone. You definitely set the tone, and
That
but
was some classic.
Like, okay, if you guys couldn't get that clear enough, my dad brought out two AKs, unloaded,
on his shoulder.
and was like, "What's up?" Straight up to this guy, like
Yeah.
straight up. It was like, I just remember sitting there and I was like, I'm not even surprised.
But you were so fine. You did
were
so
fine,
well.
and you still came
You
in the
did
house.
great.
absolutely.
And you're still with us, and that is how many years later?
Yeah.
8 years later?
8 years
8
later.
years later, yeah.
8? No.
Yeah, 8 years later. We were 14 at the time. We're 22 now.
Dude, that is a long time. You guys have been friends. So if you could handle that, right? So as a teen, kind of just, was that the first time a dad did that to you?
Yeah, and honestly, at the core of it too, just to let everybody know that he's a great father. He has a great father.
Just gotta say,
Just gotta say, yeah,
Just say.
yeah, he has a good heart, and he's very down to earth. So that's what I really love about.
All
the
I know
family.
is that Ricky's like, he's gonna watch this. I have to say nice things. Nice things.
No, it's
No,
it's
no,
not even just that, but
But
yeah,
then, and then transitioning now.
Transition.
So that was the very first experience with the Bolasan ni Ohana.
And actually, when he did come over, that was when we filmed for Dad's DJ stuff. Yeah,
and then
So-
also for Magically Rooted.
and filmed for Magically Rooted. Yeah, so
Holy crap, you've been in on our business from like
Years,
long
yeah.
time, like from the beginning. You actually did one of my first photo shoots for my doTERRA business
Yes.
so that I could put it on my YouTube header and Facebook like page and all that.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yes.
Oh my god. You were so creative. I was like, I don't know how to do this stuff, and you're like, I got you, Auntie. And I think that's the one thing I love about you. You're always like, I got you. I'm like, okay, let's go then. Always producing great stuff. And then look now. Transition.
8
Now
years
you're
later.
actually still doing photography, video. So what are the things that you're doing now that we, kind of transitioning side?
We known each other because you've always been a photographer. I've always hired you out for stuff like that. I've always loved working with you in your creative space. It was always really fun. So we did, or how do I say? When COVID hit, we graduated during COVID, right?
Yes.
And then you still had so many projects going on. You were doing all kinds of like media stuff, and then we kind of did lose contact a little bit just because we were both so busy getting our lives situated, figuring out.
You went away for a bit.
You did go away for a bit. How was that?
Yeah.
Like, you still did media away from Hawaii. How was that?
Very cool.
Yeah. So a lot of my projects that I actually went out to was mainly, filming and photography on the business side of things, and a lot of it was very purposeful. So community events, community documentaries, and everything like that. And so a lot of that, that media work to me is fulfilling. I think when it comes to creating things, the root core of it is how can this make a difference in someone's life? And I think that's the main thing, especially on our social media, right? Because if you really think about it, it's what keeps us all connected from all over the world. And when you have that intention of, I'm going to create something that is going to impact in a positive way, then you really start to analyze how you're going to move and how you're going to project a project. And in essence, how are you going to do things? Yeah.
And I love that. And I think I really want to touch upon that, like, just business-wise, because we're all business owners, right? And whoever's watching, if you are a business owner, I think you guys know that when you come from a place of serving, you come from a place of love, you want to create something
that's going to have impact.
That has good impact and is good for the community, good for the people that you're helping. It really is fulfilling. And I feel like in business, the business that you do, the things that you do should be fulfilling. Or not even just in business, but in life. Your life should be fulfilling in my opinion. Like, I truly think that everything you do should have a purpose, should have meaning. Well, yeah, do shit for the plot. Do shit for
the plot.
Do shit for the plot.
For the plot.
For the shits and giggles.
But then real life
impact. Have a good impact on not just you, your community, though. And I think that's why I do love working with you. You've always wanted to make a really good impact on the people you surround yourself with the community, and always serve. And I think that's why I'm very excited to work on this future project with you.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm so looking forward to, because I see the work that you guys put out, and honestly, it's for the community as well, but it's very relatable things, right? Because living in Hawaii, it's not easy.
No,
right?
It's expensive.
That's why we gotta be on the same we gotta be on the same boat. And when we're in that same boat, we're all helping one another, and it's not just like a one-way thing, like, oh, I'm gonna do this myself, right? It takes a village to really take care of a tribe, right?
Oh, yeah.
It's not just like, all right, I'm the leader, and then
everybody
else just kind of like follow through. But it's like everybody's a leader. They gotta do their part.
Everyone
right?
do their part. Lead in the part that you have.
You gotta be a leader of yourself. I think in general, being able to own who you are and leading the charge for yourself, for your own life, for your own business, that is definitely a choice. Right? So leader of self, so that when you do jump in the va'a, you're confident in who you are, so then you can do your part.
Yeah,
everybody can do.
You're not just jumping in the va'a and adding extra weight. You're actually supporting the weight. But with that too, it's like, if you're gonna be in the va'a, brah, you gotta paddle the same direction. Everybody gotta paddle.
Right.
Absolutely.
Paddle and run with the right people, right? I think that's another thing.
Yeah.
Finding the right people to be in the va'a with you. So I'm glad that you're in our va'a. Thank you for joining.
AKs. But
that's real. That is real.
So a key takeaway, I think, from the business aspect is find your people that you want in your va'a. Make sure that everybody's paddling the same direction, or at least trying. Being a leader of yourself and being able to just show up and show out. Yeah.
And then, like you said, community, being a part of, intentional about the community impact you're making.
Yeah.
So, be very intentional. Be good to yourself. Be good to others, and your business will flourish. I feel like all the good things will come your way.
Yeah.
Right.
Absolutely. And I like how you guys mentioned the intentional part of things, because everything in life is rooted in foundational like intention, and setting that intention gives you a sense of direction to where you're headed. If the intention is not there, where it's hono, it's righteous, then in essence you get lost, and then you take out the actual truthful meaning that's behind it,
and then you actually just don't know where to go because you're just kind of flying blind.
Absolutely.
Which is like, I get that. When I first like quit my job and when I first started doing business, I was kind of flying blind a little bit, because I was like, fuck all it. My only intention was to get out of my job.
Yeah.
And just figure it out.
Survive, right?
Survive.
Survival mode.
Survival mode. Yeah, that was totally my intention a year ago. But now I feel like I've grown so much as an entrepreneur that it's like just within the last year that my intention now is to serve my community, serve the people I love, and travel the world with the people I love and care about, and just make a good impact, like you were saying. So, and I think that's what comes as just growing up growing into an entrepreneur as a young adult. And I think that's what this podcast episode is going to be about, especially with you here. It's like transitioning from being a young, like teen entrepreneur, figuring out what we like, into like an actual, holy crap, we're making this a career for ourselves.
Yeah.
Where we have intention now.
Absolutely.
Where we have intention now. We have like, the direction, and it's very exciting.
Yeah.
It's been fun. I've had fun with it. Have you had fun with your journey?
It's been a beautiful journey, especially when you have the foundation of your vision and your mission.
Yeah.
I think that's the key thing too.
Key thing. Mission and vision, young.
Mission and vision. And the thing is, I like how you mentioned, you were in a space that you wanted to get out of your jobs, right? And just kind of hop into this entrepreneurship. And I always tell people that your job and your work is not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. The difference between your job and your work is that your job is what they pay you to do. In essence, too, they determine your value, right? They can say your time is worth $18 an hour.
Right. Yeah.
But
they determine
that, right? But what your work is what you're born to do. So in essence, your gifts, your talents, whatever it is that you feel purposeful in, and you find a greater contribution, and that's where you put your value into, right? And that's where you create your value. A lot of the times in schools, we're never taught to find our value and make ourselves valuable to our gifts and our talents.
They just tell us what to do, and they're like, hey, go figure it out.
Learn this subject, learn this, and yeah.
Exactly. They never really tell us to tap into our gifts and our talents, because society's kind of designed to kind of box us into these different places.
Into these different jobs.
Absolutely.
Here's your career path. This is the career path for
Exactly.
All
this.
of our foundation, like the intention of the foundation that we live in is to create factory workers. Like the education system was to make workers, was to make people for jobs.
But it's different now.
But
It's
it's different
transitioned into a different world now.
Yeah, so it's the
We
fact
talked
yeah,
about
it's-
strengths
Yeah.
on our other podcast. So that's I kind of want to tie back into that. That you know how you said like focus on the strengths, the things that you love. I think that's like a personal growth thing now, right?
Yeah.
Because you have to really determine what are the things that make you happy? What are the things that bring you joy? What are the things that you actually hate doing? Right, so let's talk a little bit about what you hated doing and then how you guys transitioned into this entrepreneurship.
I hated being in high school for one. He knows that. She also knows that. No. Actually, funny as shit. Side note. My friend showed me a video yesterday where it's like, oh, what was your favorite part of high school? And the next slide was leaving. But yeah, it's like
That growth,
growth
the
is-
things, how did you find out what you really like and enjoy doing and what led it to this
I feel like you
entrepreneurship
should be really
space?
good at that because you kind of found what you like doing pretty early
Yeah.
on.
Yeah. So kind of tap back into the whole job thing as well. I would say your job is something that is temporary. It's something that is going to build you foundationally. So in essence, have jobs, and then on top of that, reinvest that back into your business or whatever craft that you want to do. Right? Because at the end of the day, it's like you cannot just hop into creating a business if you can't manage your jobs properly or if you can't do your job correctly, right? So in essence, your job is just gonna really prepare you for your career or whatever it is you want to
Skills,
do.
yeah, learning some skills.
Right.
Yeah, and like that's so interesting because everyone, or well, not everyone, but even you have a job and you have your business. You have your 9 to 5, then you have your 5 to 9.
Yeah.
Last week on our podcast, we also were talking about that. Like Faith has her 9 to 5 and then her 5 to 9. For me, like, and everyone's path is so different in like personal development and business too. It's like, for me, it was like there was no foundational growth for me with my job. I couldn't do it anymore. I was so
Learn the
unhappy. I
skills.
learned the skills. It was great skills, and I do want to tie back into that, like, because my first podcast episode, I was like, yeah, I just hated my job and I had to leave, and on top of that though, I learned so much from the jobs that I had. So I did build that really great foundation that led me to be like, all right, I can trust myself.
I have skills,
I have skills,
now.
and now let me actually charge my value. Let me see the value in myself, and let me actually start doing something with the value that I can give.
Yeah.
So
and then the things that you actually
and then
enjoy.
the things I actually enjoy doing, because what I noticed is I loved the sales aspect. I loved business acumen. I loved helping people find what they love doing and what they need in life or what they just want. I love that whole thing. But you know what I did hate? Having a boss.
Anything that you hated that made you say, you know what, I hate that so much, this is why I'm going to do this instead?
Honestly, I think when it comes to, my journey in terms of jobs and all these experiences, I try to kind of shift my mindset into that. And I'm like, you know what, this is teaching me something. Whether that's like holding myself in terms of like mental or emotional energy as well.
Yeah.
At times you can be like, I don't even want to do this. No. But in essence, like that made me realize like, okay, maybe I just need to like use that as a fuel to excel myself into the space that I want to grow into. Perspective, yeah. So it's really like me working these two jobs. I'm like, I don't want to, clean the warehouse and clean the offices all day, right? What it really inspired me is that when I look at my time and my calendar, and I'm like, okay, I only have this time block for these certain things and my responsibilities, and now how can I maximize those gaps? Because everybody has the same 24 hours, and the way that you manage that is like it's going to determine where you are in your reality in your life, right? Your decisions. And so in essence, like it just gave me a concept of time. I'm like, okay, if I only got like 8 hours of my day to myself, like how am I going to maximize every minute, every detail of it? And so when I started to map out my calendar and just my time in general and time block certain things, then I could hop into things where I'm not scattered all the time. Because the main thing about me is that if my room has something that's messy, I got to go fix it right away, or I'm bouncing off 10 different tasks that I'm doing, right?
I feel like
Time blocking, focus, and organize. So that's personal development and personal growth right there.
Yeah, I will say like that, and all of that too, mindset. Like switching the mindset from, oh my god, I don't want to do this. It's like, okay, well, now what is this teaching me?
Yes.
And I feel like with entrepreneurs, like small business owners, entrepreneurs, business owners, CEOs, whatever it may be, all of us have really good mindset hacks.
You have to find those. Yeah.
You have to, because it's so important to have a strong mindset. But to be an employee, you don't really necessarily need to have the strongest mindset or the mindset hack.
Because you're just a doer, doing the job that you're paid.
Exactly.
Activity.
But as an entrepreneur, as a business owner, you have to be a problem solver. You have to be a leader. You have to do all of the things.
Yeah.
And you also, and even if you hire out and you delegate, you're still managing all of that.
Managing the team stuff.
Even if you hire a manager.
Yeah.
Because you're managing the manager.
Yeah.
So it's interesting, right?
Yeah, there's
so many different things that we talked about, right? In regards to the personal growth, I think you talked about time management. So how do you manage your time? Like for me, I do time blocking. I do have to use like a cell phone, and I have to have a handwritten calendar, and I have my online calendars. I'm in a different phase in my life where I need lots of reminders. But time blocking, like lots of reminders, really is helpful. You use time blocking. You manage your time really well. How do you kind of manage your time?
I'm not gonna lie, I get choke ADHD. So I like seriously, it's really hard for me to like time blocking is. It's more so like I keep it all in my head. So what I've been doing lately is I hire out an assistant from the Philippines. I really love her. She's such a great assistant.
Yeah,
Me and her have been working for like a year now. Shout out Janica. She's editing this video.
She's amazing.
Please put this in this Janica. I want you to get shouted out.
We do love you,
We do
Janica.
love you. So I think for me is like texting her, and being like, hey, these are all the things I have to do, and then she just gives me those reminders. It's great. Because if I put in the reminders into my phone myself, I'm just gonna hit snooze and I'm gonna be like, wait, what? Where? The other thing,
It's good, right? Sometimes you need support.
Yeah, I do.
Absolutely.
And I like
And accountability.
Yeah, I do, because I like working with people. I'm very much so a people person. I don't like doing things on my own per se, and it's not like I'm codependent or anything. It's just by choice. I really enjoy having other people to.
I'm so much more relational.
Yeah,
Like
I'm a
love
relationship builder.
people. Like I love to. It just gives me a different energy.
It does.
I can do things solo, but
I
that's
really rather not.
it's not as
Like,
fun.
but that's just me though. Not everybody is like that, but. So having an assistant, it's really great. I really do enjoy it.
So that's on the business and personal side as well, life and business.
And that's also sales though too, because
what sales?
if my business wasn't generating sales, I wouldn't be able to hire an assistant.
Yeah.
So
That's true.
or I wouldn't be able to delegate. So I think that's also something to point out again. Key takeaway again. Your business, and I will beat this horse till it's dead. Sorry, but not. I'm actually not sorry. I will say it time and time again. No apologies. Your business needs to generate sales, or it's just an expensive hobby.
That one is always a good one to like sit with all the time. Yeah.
Put it on
Because
the wall.
Yeah, because if you're not making money, you're really not a business.
And that's like, and that's not a bad thing either. You can just, it could be a hobby. It could just be a side hustle. It could just be
Side hustle, side gig,
side
right?
gig,
When it
you
makes
know,
money, then right
makes
on.
money right on. And there's no shame in that. There's nothing bad about that.
Because you got it's a incremental step. You gotta take steps, right?
Like of course. It's just though for me, this is my life.
Sales,
Like sales,
you
business.
love sales.
I do. Like this is my life. Like I don't have another source of income other than my businesses. And I have multiple businesses. I run a bunch of different things. I make money from all of my own businesses. But really,
That's
it's
true.
all on my own. I don't have a 9 to 5 like you guys do. I don't have like that security. So it's like my business needs to generate sales.
You got network marketing.
I have network
You
marketing.
Two different.
I have two
marketing.
I have my own
Social
business.
media management.
Social media
I do my social media. Or
Yeah,
I do
I
my
delegate.
marketing agency.
Yeah, I do marketing. I do sales, sales agent. I do a bunch of things like
I
that.
love that. And you
Yeah.
on your sales side, what do you think about sales in general? That whole thing that she dropped on, like if you're really not making money, you're really not in business. It's an expensive hobby.
Yeah, I mean, to me, when it comes to sales in general, a lot of it really just comes from connection. Like I think,
Yeah.
Oh, connection.
you know, when I do projects and then they kind of see my work and then it kind of gets recommended. Yeah, it's kind of like just organic right now. I'm not really focused into like putting together content and just like outreaching really. A lot of the stuff that I've been working on was just kind of like they come to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But that's the thing too. Yeah, yeah.
Networking. Networking is
It's
so
because
important.
it's the person that you showed up as in
Yeah.
the past, and then people like you, and then you get all the follow-ups,
Yeah,
right? Like,
yeah.
why not?
Yeah, and I think when it comes to sales too, right? Like, it really comes down to you helping them with a problem, because every business, every problem in the world is a business, right?
Yeah.
So in essence,
Create a solution,
solution,
sell
to
it, and
right?
you call it a great day.
Absolutely. And so when it comes to that as well, it's just like really building that relationship and and having that foundational of like, I really want to help you on this thing. What can I do? Right. So yeah, I mean, just getting yourself out there and connecting with people and see what they need help with.
So
That's really it.
that's another key takeaway, y'all. Networking in business, in life in general, is not about what you know, it's about who you know, quite honestly. And it's not always that case, but most of the time it does help when you have a really strong network. And I think that's why I love network marketing. It's
meaningful connection.
Meaningful connections.
You can
And
get meaningful.
again, too, this falls back on business, sales, and personal development. All of those things is so reliant and so heavy reliant on networking and relationship building.
Yeah,
Relationship building is so important, not even in business, sales, or personal development, but it's important in life.
One thing I kind of wanted to say in regards to the sales, and it all kind of ties in, right, with those meaningful connections, is when people know you, right? People got to know you first.
Yes.
Then they decide if they like you or they don't,
Yeah.
right? But when people know you and then they like you, then that means they'll trust you,
Yeah.
right? In this relationship, it's a whole process that people
Yeah.
know you, they decide if they like you, and then they trust you, and then when they trust you, they will buy from you.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
That is something I always tell all of my entrepreneurs, all of my small business owners that I work
Literally
with,
the sales
is
process.
that is a sales process, right? You gotta get people to know you, then they decide if they like you, and when they like you, then they will trust you, and when they trust you, they will always buy from you because of that meaningful relationship
Yeah.
that you've built, right?
So that's like
So that's my thing on sales.
Yeah,
today.
that's literally the sales process. It's you get the people in the door, you figure out how to get them in the door. After you get them in the door, you have to be like, hey, welcome in. I'm so and so, and who are you? You got to ask them the right questions, get to know them, let them get to know you. You showcase your product, your services, your work, and then they decide if that's what they like, and you help them decide. Yes, this is what I like.
And this is something that will solve their problem, like you what you're
Yeah,
saying, right?
and this is how it
Solution.
can help you. And like you just build that world of like that you can trust me, you can trust this product, you can trust this service, and next thing you know,
They're buying from you.
from you. And it's not even like you need to buy from me. No. It's like hey,
They're
you
getting what they want.
need. Yeah, it's like you came to me with this. You walked in the door with this problem. I got the solution. I'll be real with you guys. I had a problem. I did have a problem. I needed a photographer, a videographer, like ASAP. And I knew, again through networking, who would show up and show out. And look,
We love Ricky.
Love Ricky. And
We
he,
love Ricky.
and he showed up and showed out. So now we're heading to the Big Island, working on a project. And can you imagine? We were 14, literally just doing a shoot in my house, and now we're 22, and we're gonna go travel for work and get commercial content done.
Yeah.
Yay!
like the first.
Talk about
first-
transitioning into young
Transitioning.
adulthood
Yeah.
and entrepreneurship of your own.
Yeah, absolutely.
8 years, dude.
Yeah, 8 years.
She goes now.
And talk about the transition part of things. It's you realize once you're out of high school and you're leveling up in life. There's so many things that you really got to tune in your habits, the thoughts, the things that you really put into your life, where you are vibrationally as a person. And so when you start to realize that the new levels require a new you,
Yeah.
and a new you, like that's a better you, right?
Yeah, like the better versions of yourself, a version of yourself.
Absolutely.
Keep growing.
And
There's
knowing
so
how
much
to
growth.
adapt.
Knowing how to
Yeah.
adapt.
Adapt.
Oh my god, our
It's a
frontal
huge-
lobes are forming.
Hey, no. They finish when they were 25. So
That's why I said form me. I
Right,
didn't
yeah,
say form. I said form me.
we're getting there.
We're getting there.
We're getting there.
We got 2 more years, y'all.
We got 3 more years, so
I can only imagine what these guys are gonna be like in 3 years. I'm excited for that.
The key takeaways is really just, choose the people choose the people in the va'a.
Yeah.
Have people be a good leader.
Different people, be a
Be a
good
leader
leader
of
of yourself.
Do the things that make you happy.
Do things that make you happy. What else we have?
Build a solid
Community.
Community,
Yeah.
impact.
Build a good foundation with your community. Build a good foundation with yourself. Build a good foundation of your va'a. Like just having those things is really awesome in sales and business and personal development. There's just so much room for growth and
Meaningful
meaningful
relationships.
relationships. And if you're a young entrepreneur stepping into the space, you're like our age or somewhere in our age, we would love to have you on the podcast. So yeah,
absolutely.
welcome to POV You're a Girl. I'm Sayan Kanoy.
And I'm Christian Bolasani.
And I'm Ricky Guillermo Santos Jr.
All right, and we out. This is POV You're a Girl with a really cool mom and a Ricky.
And a Ricky.
Yeah.
We love Ricky.
Okay, that is it.
Hey, good job.
Oh
That
wait,
is
we need a
working.
CTA. We do need a CTA.
Yeah.
Okay, so call to action, y'all. Alrighty, so this is POV You're a Girl with a really cool mom and a Ricky. All right.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
That was so good.
Oh, that was a solid one.
30 minutes per.